My name is Lily, and I'm 29 years old. Right now, I work remotely from my apartment, a small but cozy space that's become my sanctuary. I live alone, but I have a close-knit family. My mom, my dad, and my older brother Jake, who recently got married to a woman named Rachel. They've been married for about 6 months, and I always thought they were happy. But lately, something's been off, and I can't quite figure out what it is. It started when Rachel began visiting our family home more frequently. At first, I thought maybe she just felt nervous, being a newlywed and all. It's normal for in-laws to feel that way during their first few visits. But that wasn't the case with Rachel. She seemed comfortable, way too comfortable, as though she had already settled into the family dynamic. Something about it made me uneasy. It wasn't just her constant presence that bothered me. It was how she seemed to be getting more involved in my life. I'd catch her looking at me in strange ways, and I couldn't help but feel like she was trying to manipulate things. I've always been a bit of a loner, not one to put myself out there much, especially when it comes to relationships. I'm focused on my work, and meeting people isn't something I prioritize. Rachel, on the other hand, seemed to think I needed some help. One afternoon, while I was having lunch at the kitchen table, Rachel casually asked me, "Lily, why don't you have a boyfriend? Are you just not interested in men?" Her question took me off guard. I was quiet for a moment, unsure how to respond. I knew Rachel meant well, but there was something off about the way she asked. "It's not like that," I finally said. "I work from home most of the time, so I don't meet a lot of people. I don't have time to go out or use dating apps. My life's just different right now." Rachel didn't seem convinced. She tilted her head and smiled, though there was something almost calculating in her expression. "Well, if you want to make things easier for yourself, I'd be happy to help you out," Rachel said. "I can give you some tips on how to look more attractive. Maybe a little makeover to help you get noticed. You'd be surprised what a good outfit and some makeup can do." I wasn't sure what to make of her offer, but it was clear she wasn't going to drop the subject. "I appreciate that, Rachel, but I'm really not looking for anything right now," I replied. Her smile faltered slightly, but she quickly recovered. "Oh, I understand," she said, "but I really think you could use a little boost. It wouldn't hurt to try. Let's start by looking at your wardrobe." She sounded so sure of herself, like she knew what was best for me. I felt a little uncomfortable, but I didn't want to be rude, so I let her lead me to my room. Rachel immediately began rifling through my closet, pulling out clothes one by one, examining them like they were under a magnifying glass. "These clothes are fine," she said after a few minutes, "but there's room for improvement. We can start with a few new pieces." I felt my chest tighten. I wasn't the type to care much about clothes. As long as they were comfortable and functional, I was happy. But Rachel seemed to think there was something wrong with that. She kept going, her hands moving quickly from item to item. "And your makeup," Rachel started, eyeing my makeup bag with interest. "You don't use this often, do you?" I shrugged. "Only when I need to. I don't usually wear makeup unless I'm going somewhere special." Rachel didn't seem satisfied with that answer. "I can teach you how to use it better. Trust me, it'll make a difference. You'll feel more confident, and who knows, maybe you'll meet someone." Her words made me feel like she was trying to force something on me that I didn't want. I didn't say anything in response. I just let her continue her inspection. The whole thing felt strange, but I didn't know how to stop it without sounding rude. After about an hour, Rachel finally stood up from my closet, wiping her hands on her jeans. "Well, that's enough for today," she said, sounding pleased with herself. "I'll take some of these clothes to the store to exchange for more fashionable pieces, and I'll get you some new makeup too. You need to have the basics in place if you want people to like you." The way she said people made me shiver. It felt like there was a hidden agenda beneath her words. The next few weeks were more of the same. Rachel came over regularly, offering unsolicited advice about my appearance, my life, even my work. She seemed to think she knew what was best for me, and I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to her visits than just helping me improve myself. I started to feel like I was being suffocated, but I didn't know how to make her leave. Every time I tried to set a boundary, Rachel would smile and act like everything was fine. She had this way of making me feel like I was the one in the wrong for wanting space. One day, I was going through my closet, trying to find a shirt to wear, when I noticed something strange. My favorite sweater, one I'd bought last winter and had worn only a handful of times, was missing. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I knew I hadn't gotten rid of it. I always keep track of what's in my closet, especially the things I love. The only time anyone had been in my room recently was when Rachel had gone through my things. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I couldn't shake the feeling that she might have taken it. I tried to brush it off at first. Maybe I misplaced it. But the more I thought about it, the more suspicious I became. I couldn't help but wonder if Rachel had taken the sweater, or if she had taken something else. I had no proof, but the idea that she could be taking things from me felt like a betrayal. The next time she visited, I decided to keep a closer eye on her. As Rachel went through my closet again, pulling out clothes she thought I should wear, I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. I wasn't sure what to do, but I knew I had to find out if she was taking things from me. After she left, I installed a small hidden camera in my room. I wasn't proud of doing it, but I needed to know if I was right. A few days later, Rachel came over again, this time for another makeover session. I sat down, trying to act normal as she went through my things. As she began packing some of my makeup into her bag, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. She was stealing my things, my makeup, my clothes. It wasn't just casual borrowing, she was taking them. I felt sick to my stomach. I quickly saved the footage to my phone, my hands shaking. I couldn't believe Rachel, who had acted like she cared about me, was stealing from me. I needed to confront her, but I didn't know how. My heart raced as I thought about what to do next. I couldn't let her get away with this. That night, as I sat in the living room, I waited for Jake and Rachel to leave. When they finally did, I gathered my courage and played the video for my parents. Their expressions changed instantly, their faces paling as they watched Rachel discreetly pocketing my things. It was hard to watch, but I knew I had to show them the truth. "This isn't just an accident," I said, my voice trembling. "Rachel has been taking my things. She's been stealing from me." My parents exchanged uneasy glances, and I could tell they didn't know how to react. But my brother Jake, who had just walked in, didn't seem to understand the gravity of what had happened. "What's the big deal?" he said, dismissing me. "Rachel's just trying to help you. You're overreacting." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Overreacting? Jake, she's been stealing from me," I snapped, but Jake just shrugged. "You don't understand. Rachel's just trying to make sure you get your life together. You're the one who's been acting all weird." I was stunned. How could he not see what was happening? But there was no time to argue. The damage had already been done. I couldn't stay here anymore. I packed my things and left that night, heading to a small apartment I'd rented a few months earlier. I didn't want to be around them anymore, not when they couldn't see the truth. As I moved out, I heard Jake and Rachel arguing in the other room. It was a mix of anger and confusion, but it didn't matter. I was done. I had to focus on my own life, away from the people who had betrayed me. The next chapter had already begun, and I was ready for it. Months later, I learned that Jake and Rachel had moved in together. My parents were still spending money recklessly, and Jake was starting to resent the burden. Rachel, too, was feeling the strain. The family dynamic had shifted, and the truth of what had happened that day still lingered in the air. I had left, but I knew I would never forget the feeling of betrayal. As for Rachel, she had become a stranger to me, and now I had to keep moving forward, despite everything that